Hello and welcome to another EBTV High School Sports presentation. Today it's high school wrestling as the East Brunswick Bears host the Hawks of J.P. Stevens in a Greater Middlesex Conference Red Division meet. Hi, I'm Bob Cancro and I'm joined tonight by Stu Kohn to bring you today's action. Stu, we are watching the
wins even choice.
Captains coming together, and that's Ed Glassheim, the referee. What are we looking for tonight? We have two teams that are kind of a little sketchy this year on their records.
Well, both teams are going to have an opportunity to win. We'll see who rises to the occasion. J.P. Stevens comes in led by Hamilton Cook, and at 119, Greg Zanetti. That's where the strength lies. We're going to start tonight at 160.
Sergio Garcia for the Bears, and Gary Repke comes in for the Hawks. And that's Sergio Garcia diving in on a single. He's getting caught under there. Still no control.
The start is drawn. Tonight we start at 160. Garcia 9-2 on the season, 32-8 on his career. Close to a takedown, just missed it by about an inch, ran out of real estate.
Referee on this match, we have two referees tonight. The referee is Ken Burnaby. The assistant is Ed Glassheim. Still working the center, which is where the referees want them to be as they go through this the first period. About 50 seconds gone here in the first 2-minute period of the match.
J.P. Stevens comes in tonight's contest 4-7. Coached by Steve Giordano, assisted by Gene Klapsis.
Shot for a single by Sergio. He comes out. He's no control yet.
Sergio scores first. He's up in score and up in position. Sergio's been one of the strong points in the East Brunswick lineup so far this season. Won the East Brunswick Bear Classic earlier in December.
He's 16-1 on the season, Stu. He's one of those wrestlers that came through the
Keep working.
Well, he's been wrestling for 11 years. Also plays football and baseball for the Bears.
Here's a kid who's he's a junior, right? And he's been wrestling for how many years?
There's no back points. He's got one.
Repke picks up an escape out of the tilt.
Neutral.
So we're going to start neutral with 18 seconds to go. Garcia has to work fast, try to get a takedown here.
Gets in on the single and has the lifting the leg.
10 seconds.
Trying to lock the
he scores
at the same time with the takedown.
Takes Repke to his back. He'll pick up 2 and 2 more at least, if not 3 here.
And the period is going to come to a close. He'll have, it looks like 3.
It's going to take our score to 7-1.
Stevens.
Sergio Garcia.
Choice. Neutral.
Leading 7-1 over Gary Repke of J.P. Stevens. Garcia is a choice. He chooses neutral. So they'll be on their feet at the start of the second period here at 160 pounds.
Garcia shoots in on a single. Needs to try to cut the corner. Gain control of his opponent on the mat. He'll pick up a takedown. Repke trying to work a head and arm. No control yet. Needs to settle, plant himself in position.
Garcia hasn't kicked over. He's going to give him the 2. I was just going to say he didn't kick over, which is usually a sure sign of control, but Garcia's back is close to the mat. He's in a little bit of trouble, but he's very strong and comes over. 3 on the back and a reversal for Sergio Garcia.
3 back, 2 reversal.
It's going to take it to 9-6.
9-6 it is.
Got some points on the board early.
1:10 to go, and he's going to have some back points again.
Well, the Bear needs to capitalize on all their wins tonight. Wherever they can pick up a win, they're going to need bonus points. So Garcia is certainly a spot in the lineup where the Bears need to get more than 3 team points out of 160.
Well, one of the things that Glenn Pazinko, the coach of the Bears, said is that in the last match against Woodbridge, where it was a pretty close match, 36-25, it was just a matter of the pins and the majors that cost the Bears. They just didn't have enough of them.
Gary Repke on the mat for J.P. Stevens. Carries a 4.1 GPA, a 31-25 career record.
I think wrestlers get a bad rap about not being smart, and then that proves it with Gary Repke.
25.
Just about 20 seconds remaining in the second period. 11-6 is the score. Sergio Garcia for the Bears on top, leading here at the 160-pound weight class.
Garcia trying to work in a boot. Referee's going to stop it for stalemate. We're going to get a fresh start in the middle, and the referee feels there's no significant action. He'll stop it, and we'll get a fresh start in the same position we were in.
Go.
On the restart, Repke up quickly to his feet. Garcia locks up the one leg. 5 seconds to go here in the period. He's going to try to hang on and maintain that 5-point lead, which he does. 11-6 is the score. And it will be Repke's, should be Repke's choice.
Green defense. Green defense.
We'll look for Sergio to explode here from bottom. Look for him to establish hand control. Try to work up to his feet. Wants to turn that decision into more right here. He's got 2 minutes to work with. Quick one for Garcia. Shoots in on a double.
Well, he's had 2 takedowns already, in both of those in the first period, and was able to get the reversal and then control. Once he got out of trouble in the second, and able to control the rest of that period.
Look for the pick. There it is.
There's the takedown for Garcia, and a 14-6, an 8-point lead, so he's got a major right now.
Look for him to try to build on that. Garcia likes to work the tilts. Look for a tilt, maybe double boots.
Red down.
And try to get him to his back.
Stu, as we go along, I'm going to ask you, because there may be people who are not familiar. You said double boots.
Okay, right here we got a tilt situation. Garcia's going to pick up 3 back points. Not a good position for the fall, but a good position to pick up some back points. He's got the major in the bank, so now look for Garcia to try to work in a position where he can get a fall. Right now he's trying to work a ball and chain. The arm slipped away, but now we're looking for Garcia to try to work for the fall.
Just under a minute to go in the last period of regulation, and Sergio Garcia with an 11-point lead, as you can see on the board.
Well, he's got about a minute to work with. We're at 49 seconds to go in the third period. We wrestle 3 2-minute periods.
The major would be a big plus for the Bears because, they, as we said, they have not gotten a lot of.
Well, he's got the major
points
in the bank. He's going to look for. We got to try to pick up a fall here. It's going to bring it to 19-6. That's a 13-point spread. Look for at least one more. If
he can get the other
Sergio could pick up one more as it gets reversed. Got a little sloppy. Repke scooted around, picked up reversal of his own.
Trying to go for the far side cradle. And Garcia very strong, good balance, wide base there.
Oh, 10 seconds to go. Garcia's going to have to settle for a major here. But the good news is it's going to put the Bears on the board first. Garcia escapes at the end for 1 for a final score.
19-8, an 11-point margin. That's a 4 points for the Bears, and they go up 4-0.
Let's see what's going on at the table if we can hear our ref explaining the situation to Coach Bazinko.
Different pinning hold, same situation.
How is it the same situation? He came to his base. He tilted one side, he came up, he tilted the other side. How's that the same
situation?
Okay, referees explaining to Coach Bazinko that if the move doesn't change, you can only pick up 1 set of back points off the combination. Coach Bazinko felt that they were in the situation, left, and came back in for another near full count.
That's always a question, Stu, when you have the tilts, because you're really holding that position. You're rocking a kid up and back, and you can't get more than the 1 set of points out of that.
So East Brunswick on the scoreboard first with a 4-0 lead.
Goes to 171. Brian Pedrero for the Bears against Brad Newman for the Hawks. Newman comes in 10-6. He's a sophomore. And he's a true wrestler. His favorite class is lunch, as he told us. Because that's a lot of kids' favorite class.
It certainly was mine. Problem is, it still is.
Quick takedown. Oh, I'm sorry, did they give the points? Yes, they did.
And 2 back, and 2 reversals. So we're at 4-2 early on in the first period here at 171.
A little sloppy by Brian Pedrero after getting the early points. (4-2) Pedrero up.
So Pedrero's going to be on bottom.
Newman maintains control, drives Pedrero back to the mat. The referee for this mat is Ed Glassheim. We have two of the most veteran officials still on the mat right now working. And Ed and Ken Burnaby work a lot of matches together, don't they, Stu?
Well, these are two senior officials. They certainly have been around the sport for quite some time and at the highest level. So we're in good shape with the officiating tonight. Ken Barnaby will be doing the state finals in Atlantic City later this season.
Pedrero comes up to his up to a sitting position, and Newman working that one-on-one, trying to break in the other arm. Less than 20 seconds to go here in the first period at 171 pounds.
Warning, you're riding.
And that is a warning on Brad Newman. And Glassheim making the call, saying that Newman just wasn't doing anything. He was riding without making an attempt to break down his opponent.
Well, the top man has an obligation to ride out to the side. You can't stay parallel. So it was a good call by our official.
And with less than 3 seconds to go, Brian Pedrero comes around for reversal and picks up 2 more points to put him up 6-2 as we go to the second period.
Okay, we're going up, so we'll start. Okay, go ahead.
We're neutral.
Quick escape by Pedrero. Goes up 6-2.
Watch the chin. Watch the chin.
Got to watch that front headlock and choke hold.
If you take the front headlock, you have to keep the head straight. You can't turn it off to the side. Well, two officials out there certainly gives you another set of eyes.
Well, when you get into the higher levels of competition, the districts and the regions and beyond, and even in some major tournaments, the finals, even the semifinals, they do put two officials out there. You're not going to have instant replay in wrestling, but having that second set of eyes, somebody else, and they're mirroring each other. The referee on one side, the assistant to the other, they can see the holds, they can see the potential dangerous situations that can occur. And here you have really a 1-to-1 ratio with officials to athlete. Pedrero with the takedown, works around. Hand through the crotch, trying for the tilt. This is the kind of match the Bears need, Stu. They need some aggressiveness. They need to get some points early. They want to get something on the board.
You know, on paper, these two teams are about even, and as you said earlier, they're both in the red division. So a win here certainly helps in the division standings. So both teams looking to capitalize on tonight's matchups.
Another 2 points for Pedrero as he tilts Brad Newman.
It's about as aggressive as we've seen Pedrero all season. He's really going at it tonight, working hard, staying aggressive. We've seen him in a lot of 2-1, 3-2 matches, and he's up 11-2 here with 16 seconds to go in the second period.
3-2, 2-1, 4-3. Those are the things that age coaches and parents as they watch their kids just struggle. And you want the wins, obviously, but those bonus points, the added on the major, on the technical, make a big difference. And as we said earlier, that's what Glenn Pazinko felt was a big difference with the Woodbridge match. Under 5 seconds, trying for the tilt one more time.
Well, Pedrero
does not
up
get
by 8. He's in that major range now. So we want to see him maintain that lead or add to it here in the third.
Newman has choice, and he's going to take the defense. He's going to go down.
Okay, gentlemen, third period.
We'll look for Pedrero. If he gets in trouble, he'll give up 1 as opposed to 2 and try to work a takedown.
Tries for the switch. Covered pretty well by Pedrero. And breaks Newman down.
Trout working the cradle.
He's done that several times and gotten a few points out of it. But nothing. And two that time, I didn't think he had it. An 11-point lead for Brian Pedrero. So right now, another major is in his back pocket. And that would be a nice plus. Of course, now we want to look for the additional points or the fall if you're East Brunswick.
Pedro on top, working out to the side, working a crossface, trying that cradle again. Rocks it back. He's going to pick up some more back points. Held it for 3. He'll pick up 2 points.
15-2.
So we're at a 13-point spread. If he could turn him one more time.
Well, he's got 44 seconds. He's worked that tilt pretty well, Stu, a number of times. So I think there's if he can get that far side cradle as he has, and Steve Giordano is just telling him, get up, let's get to your feet.
Newman, a sophomore, 10-6 on the season, 12-8 overall.
Looking to come to his feet. 35 seconds to go here in the 3rd period of regulation. Brian Pedrero for the Bears here at 171 pounds.
Staying aggressive, looking for one more turn. Every point matters here.
Got that far side cradle again. Got to lock it up a little bit tighter. You don't want to get too sloppy there. Newman able to come across with that arm. And Pedrero, if he can get his hips up, might be able to pull that off.
Needs to keep his hips up for 5 seconds.
Not enough. Not enough, and that's not making Glenn Pazinko real happy. It will be a 4-point major decision for the Bears.
Can you start him the other direction? The camera's looking on the box. Can you turn him around? Start him facing up.
Nick Engelhardt comes out for the Bears at 189 pounds. And Malcolm Rabin for the Hawks.
Originally a sophomore, 3-7 on the season.
He's another one who plays multiple sports. He's also a football and baseball player over at JP Stevens and likes boxing. The Bears with an 8-0 lead on the scoreboard as a team score. And here Nick Engelhardt coming in, a senior, 6-6 record on the season. And Rabin being very aggressive. Gets them on the mat, but no points yet. They're going out of bounds, and they are called out. You know, Stu, just going back to the 171-pound match, those last 2 points that Brian Pedrero did not get. Glenn Pazinko knows that this is going to be a close match, going back and forth, and he would have liked to have that extra point for the tech fall that Pedrero would have had he gotten that last near fall.
Engelhardt escapes for 1. And here's a guy really that's been improving with each match. Getting much tougher as the season goes along, Nick Engelhardt. He's in on a shot, in on a single, needs to step over the hips. He's in a Merkel situation, so technically JP Stevens trying to establish control. If he could free that left leg and bring it back, he'll have a control position. So Engelhardt needs to keep his hips up.
We used to call that the crazy leg with that.
Crazy leg, Merkel, Siegel roll. I've heard it called all kinds of things.
Normally the man on top would have his right leg. You can't really see it. It's underneath Engelhardt on top. So that's kind of the wrong leg. And hipping in Nick Engelhardt, he's got a Navy ride on the one side, but he's got to pop his head out to maintain some control. Right now there is still nothing.
He's got 5 seconds to pop that head out. Engelhardt needs to
back
out through there. And
nothing.
Just missed it. Ran out of time.
2-1. Malcolm Rabin of the Hawks.
East Brunswick.
Malcolm Rabin saved by the bell.
Stevens, choice. Facing me. You're down.
Malcolm Rabin with choice takes the defensive position. He has a 2-1 lead as we go into the second period. at 189 pounds.
I could tell you from officiating, from the other hat I wear sometimes, doesn't help any when both teams are in the same very close singles. Everybody's in green out there.
It's the worst. I've done it a few times. It's been a long time since I've been officiating, but I've had a few of those, whether it's all blue or all green or all red.
Unlike our last telecast where Perth Amboy came in away in red and East Brunswick in the green, that's what you want.
Well, the next one that we'll have hopefully on EBTV will be South River and East Brunswick, and that's maroon and red and green, so that'll be a big help.
That's always a rivalry.
Engelhardt tipping Malcolm Rabin, and he's going to have some back points.
So starting at 160 tonight, working to the Bears' advantage, getting on the board first with two major decisions at 171 and 189, and now Engelhardt.
Now there's a situation you can see Ken Burnaby holding the two fingers down on the mat. It's still the same combination according to him. Nothing's changed. This is the argument that Glenn Pazinko made in the first bout where he thought there was a different combination and would have gotten him a couple more points. But he does pick up the 2 points for the near fall.
Brings our bout score to 3-2, Fayetteville Engelhardt.
About 40 seconds to go here in the second period. Again, tips him over.
Engelhardt looking for more.
He's got some pretty good control down there. 26 seconds to go here in the second.
He's got it tight.
And a fall. With 24 seconds to go in the second period, Nick Engelhardt pinning Malcolm Rabin. The time 3:36. 6 points for the Bears, and they go up 14-0, and that's what Glenn Pazinko wanted. The pins and the major decisions. You're looking at me, 24 seconds to go, a minute.
That's why I wasn't the math teacher.
Neither was I.
I think you got it. I think
Two
you're
in the
right.
first
Yeah,
period, one and 3:36.
Chicago math, right?
I did it with my fingers and toes, and it worked pretty well. Jimmy Ryder for the Bears comes out at 215 pounds against Anthony Cooney for the Hawks.
It's going to take our team score to 14-0.
That's got to make Glenn Pazinko happy. He's got to be very pleased at his first three bouts going out there. The wrestlers came back with bonus points. Anthony Cooney, a junior for the Hawks, his record 5-10 on the season, and a career record of 10-16. Another multi-sport athlete. Baseball is his, and a takedown by Jimmy Ryder. So the Bears have been pretty aggressive on their feet.
Ryder, also a football player for East Brunswick. In his 8th year wrestling.
Sophomore. And this is the kind of youthful experience that Glenn would like to see. Get some younger kids in there, give them the experience, and hopefully some good experience and success as he's working that bar. Could not hold it. You might have heard in the background the referee saying work for a fall. You can't ride it. He's got to work to improve the position. That would mean turning his opponent over.
Ryder working a half. He's got it deep. Needs to keep his opponent inbounds.
Right.
Does a nice job of repositioning
Turns
himself.
it pretty well there. Little shove.
Ryder's
Shoulders
got him
down.
flat for the fall.
102. Glenn Pazinko could not be, I'm sure, any happier right now. 4 in a row. And a 20-point lead for the Bears. Jimmy Ryder with a fall at 1 minute, 2 seconds of the first period over Anthony Cooney of J.P. Stevens.
Well, we know the strength of the J.P. Stevens lineups in that lower middle weight classes with Zanetti, Hamilton, Cook, Albert Stevens. So the Bears trying to build up a lead before we get into the heart of the lineup for J.P.
Joe Brazula for the Bears. And I don't have a name for the...
See if we can get one, Coach.
We were not provided with information by the Hawks for their wrestler, who was coming out with a mask, and that is something you don't see too often. Most likely a broken nose or some other facial injury. That is a padded mask, or should be a padded mask, or something that's very soft. Brazil, a senior, coming in at a 1-4 record for the Bears.
Takedowns.
And the very simple direction, work takedowns. The two heavyweights are 275-pounders dancing a little bit in the middle. Brazil has to sprawl a little bit more. He's letting his opponent, and we don't have a name yet.
This is actually Anthony Cooney. So
Okay.
our last wrestler was the mystery man.
Well, we apologize
Our
to
last
Anthony.
wrestler was Mark Ruggiero. We're doing the best we got, what we got to work with here.
This is a mistake on that one. We're sorry about that, and we apologize to Anthony Cooney for saying he got pinned at 215. He's
Well,
the
let's still
opponent
hope
right now.
he does, but just not yet.
Well, aren't we supposed to be objective, Stu?
Unbiasedly from East Brunswick.
That's right. Joe Brazula, the wrestler for East Brunswick, at 275. He is up 2-0 over Anthony Cooney.
It was Jimmy Ryder with a fall in 1 minute and 2 seconds of Mark Ruggiero at 2:15. So now we should be straight. Our team score remains 20-0, 20 seconds into the first period here at heavyweight.
I think we've got it straight now.
With Joe Brazula on the mat for East Brunswick. He's a senior. The first senior we've had here so far hit the mats for East Brunswick. Only 2 years wrestling experience. On top in position, on top in score. J.P. Stevens with choice.
Cooney makes a choice, and he defers.
Defers to you. Defense, screen, defense.
And Joe Brazil will take the bottom position. Joe trying to turn to face him. Didn't get a real good angle on that. And Cooney breaks him down off his knees.
Joe needs to get his head off the mat, needs to work up.
Stand and peel those hands away.
Needs to hit back into him. Shift his weight up over his feet.
Comes
Does
up.
a nice
There
job.
you go, and peeling off, face him.
Working on a textbook escape. Now, Cooney needs to bring him back down in the mat. If he doesn't, he would be warned for stalling.
But Brazula does get the escape. He is now up 3-0.
Almost lost his footing. Regains his composure on the edge. Cooney shoots in on a single. Joe needs to make that leg long. Okay, we get a stalemate situation. Ken Barnaby felt the action wasn't improving. Good call. We'll get a fresh start from our feet.
1 minute to go here in the second period. A 3-0 lead for Joe Brazula of the Bears. He gets on the defensive as Cooney shoots in. Pretty good sprawl. He's got to get back, put a crossface in there, put a little pressure on the head, and keep spinning.
Doing a nice job.
He's got
the
Cooney
high leg
broken
over.
down. There we go.
Picks up his 2. The Bears are without the services of Todd Marriott and both Ackerman at 112 tonight. So Bears certainly need to establish points where they can. Missing 2 of their bigger guns out of the lineup tonight.
They have some youthful experience in the lineup. The kids that have been in wrestling for a while, but not necessarily in the varsity level and not having that much experience. So while they've got kids who have been there, not necessarily in pressure situation, and to some extent it's a pressure situation. The Bears really want to try to right the ship and get on the right track as we move along in the season here, just 2 weeks away from the county tournament. That's the close of the second period. Joe Brazula, a 5-0 lead over his opponent,
choice.
Anthony Cooney.
Down, defense. Facing me, buddy, facing me.
Bears have done very well on their feet tonight, Stu. A lot of takedowns here in the early going.
Well, they've been aggressive and they've been working hard. They've been doing a great job of clock management, and it shows in the score, up 20-0 here at heavyweight.
Top. Easy.
Working to
Easy
build on that
the
lead.
navel.
Can't
Go ahead.
afford to give away anything easy. Need to stay aggressive. Joe needs to stay behind, stay heavy.
He's a little bit high there. Got it. There he goes. Shifts his weight back.
To stay under the arms. Needs to use his weight to his advantage. Stay heavy on top of Cooney. Try to avoid.
Cooney rolls through there.
Cooney and modified Peterson. No shift in control yet. Nice no call by official.
He did give him the reversal.
Did give him the reversal, okay.
He gave him the reversal when he had the leg.
But no back points.
No back. Brazoula able to get out of that.
Still in control from the Peterson. Joe trying to get it back. And he does. So quick exchange of reversals.
I was talking to a student in my school who was a wrestler, and I happened to mention the term riding time, and he had no clue as to what I was talking about. And I think in those situations where referees don't have to make that call right away because it's not critical for a clock and getting the extra points as you have in college, where riding time does still exist.
Well, your seasoned officials know that, and you have the luxury of not having riding time to wait a couple extra seconds to make the call. You can really not get in trouble if you wait the couple extra seconds. Where you get yourself in trouble is when you don't wait.
The move and the call were still there. Joe Brazoula here at 275 pounds, leading 7-2. The Bears have taken the first 4 bouts here at this match against JP Stevens. 2 major decisions and 2 pins. And they are up 20-0.
Sure, Coach Bazinka would like a little more here. So he's got to stay busy. He's got 30 seconds to work. Let's see if he can turn this regular decision into a major. Well, for another turn.
The key here, Stu, as we were talking about bonus points, is picking up as many as you can and not getting wrecked on the other end, not giving up the pins, not giving up those the major decisions. And that's going to be critical down the lower weights. As you said, Stevens is a much stronger team at the bottom. That's where their strength is into the middle weights, with Zanetti and Cook.
Well, Cooney's clamming up a little bit on bottom. He knows he doesn't want to give up any more team points, so he's kind of being a little defensive down there.
And we're going to come to a close. And Joe Brazoula of the Bears with a 7-2, very solid victory over Anthony Cooney of JP Stevens. And the Bears take a 23-0 lead on the Hawks.
Nice performance out of Joe.
Good job. We go to 103 pounds now, and a familiar name for the for East Brunswick. Corona, Chris Corona, coming out at 103 pounds, a 2-5 record, just a freshman. So his first year on the varsity against Bobby Seha of East Brunswick, of JP Stevens. Saha is a senior with a 12-5 record, so certainly an experienced wrestler, and he goes right after Corona. Takedown, locks the cradle, and just 11 seconds into the period, JP Stevens picks up its first points of the night with a fall. Bobby Saha.
It's a tall task when you're underweight for 103. You're out there against a senior at 103, and experience just takes over.
Well, we go to 112 pounds. Kyle Muscola for the Bears.
Now here's where East Brunswick without the services of Ackerman. We saw Brandt Shine fill in formidably for Ackerman against Perth Amboy. Now it's Muscola on the mat.
And Dan Kaiser is his opponent, and he gets a quick takedown. Kaiser comes in again, just a sophomore, but with a 13-3 record. So this definitely is the strength of the Hawks down in the lower weights. Puts that arm across in the bar.
As we said at our last broadcast, that 119 weight class has really been loaded. Everywhere poor Nick Parabella goes, he seems to run into the big gun for the lineup, and yet we'll see that again tonight when he faces Greg Zanetti at 119.
Greg Zanetti
due up next.
Again, a name
synonymous with quality wrestling.
And JP Stevens with his older brother Jeff.
Jeff now at UPenn, and Gene at Rutgers. Two brothers both in the college ranks right now.
Dan Kaiser with a 2-0 lead over East Brunswick's Kyle Muscola with just under a minute remaining here in the first period at 112 pounds. So we are halfway through the lineup. Quick escape by Kyle Moscola. He comes to his feet, but Zanetti right back on it with a two. No.
Kaiser.
No back points. I'm sorry, Kaiser.
Kaiser in control. Moscola needs to work up, needs to get off the mat, needs to establish some hand control.
This is a situation, Stu, where you're looking, Kaiser is obviously the more veteran and experienced and seasoned wrestler. Kyle Moscola out there, just a sophomore, working hard, but to some extent, not that it's a foregone conclusion, but you're just hoping now that Moscola is tough enough to not give up the extra points. 7-1, Kaiser over Kyle Moscola.
It should be 9. No, that last exchange.
Take down, escape, take down, escape, take down, backs.
Correct.
Right?
9-2. Should be 9-2.
I missed that.
Well, I know it's 9-2.
Okay, well now we know it's 9-2, but I missed an escape and a takedown in there somewhere. I don't know what happened. I had it 7-1 as the scoreboard had it, but it is 9-2, and they will be neutral.
The last.
Let's hear what they're talking about.
There was no escape. Okay, there was no.
Right.
Okay. So in other words, when he got his back points, it was the same situation. There was no takedown, there was no escape, there was no takedown.
So there's no, right. So
right, you understand that?
Yes.
So then what is your question?
How's it 9?
I have the same question.
Should be 7-1. 3 sets it back. Should be 7-1, not 9-2.
2, where are we, right here?
No, we're up at 1.
The home book is the official
Yeah,
scorebook.
right, that's it.
But they could make a mistake.
Down,
It's just a
let him
question, did they
escape.
get it right?
He took him down.
7-1.
And then put him on his back. No, there was no point. Then put him on his back.
7-1.
Coach, that is what you thought was an escape.
Okay, we're not 9-2 anymore, Coach. We're back to 7-1.
As I said.
There was no. I only gave one escape.
That's
one
what
escape. 7-1.
I hate always being right.
I'm not so sure which is the better situation for East Brunswick.
I'm not sure either.
When Moscola's out here to do as best he can, we want to try to keep the score close, not give up any extra points. Not too sure how it's going to pan out.
Well, you went from a 6-point to a 7-point back to a 6-point lead. There's a takedown for Kaiser. And back points are coming up. And Moscola has to work to his belly.
I mean, Moscola being a little out of experience, you have to decide, am I better off trying to keep it within a major, or do I want to get my tech and get off the mat?
Well, a point here and a point there could make a critical difference. And we were talking about earlier, you're just trying to get as much as you can and not give up as much as you can.
Moscola needs to try to get out of bounds now.
Shoulders are out.
Stay right there would be the best place for him. Let the clock tick. Get blown out of bounds. We're going to get a fresh start. 12. Got a coach's inquiry yet again.
2.
Yeah, then he came off his back and hit him with a Turk. Those are 2 different moves.
No, Stephen. It's the same situation. It's he got the pinning situation did not
Our official
change.
Ken Barnaby doing a lot of explaining here early on.
It's the same situation. I had to give him time to see what he was going to do.
I think that's what we're talking about. You got to give him time. Let it play itself out and see what happens. Obviously, Coach Steve Giordano wants the points as much as he can get. Gets the bar straight across. Has to keep it perpendicular to the spine. Just over a minute to go here in the second period. At 112 pounds, Dan Kaiser of JP Stevens with a 12-1 lead over Kyle Moscola.
Moscola hanging tough, fighting every inch and second of the way out there.
He's done a good job so far. He's had a couple of situations where he's been on his back, had to fight it.
No, he's
back
not
on the
giving it
cradle.
up.
He's got that shoulder up pretty high. If he can keep that shoulder out, he's in good shape. 40 seconds to go. There's another 3. That's a 15-1. Now here's
the key turn. If Moscola can get out of this, he'll save the Bears a team point. Moscola's got to fight for 29 seconds. Hard to do out there.
He gave it the good fight.
Yes, he did.
But at 3:36, Dan Kaiser picks up a fall for the Hawks.
That seems to be the magic number tonight, 3:36.
And the Bears' lead is cut to 11, 23-12 as we go to 119 pounds. Nick Parabello for the Bears and Greg Zanetti for the Hawks.
Gentlemen, shake hands. Okay, ready?
Parabella, 5-7 on the season, only a sophomore. And he'll take on Greg Zanetti.
Also a sophomore.
And sophomore has probably been wrestling his whole life.
Well, he claims he's been wrestling for 9 years, and you figure a sophomore is about 14. So as soon as he's able to tie his shoes, they got him on the mat.
Probably even before that with his two older brothers. So real slick wrestler, good technician. Zanetti scored first. He's on top, 2-0 here at 119.
Doing as well as he's doing it as just a sophomore, and with the pedigree that he's got, we can certainly expect to see Greg Zanetti doing some damage in the postseason, and certainly in 2 weeks at the GMCs, which will be held at South Brunswick.
Well, that 119 weight class is just so loaded. Whoever comes out on top really is going to earn his victory. You have Jim Conroy or Bill Ashnault from South Plainfield, 1 and 2 in the state. One of those two is going to go 119.
Hasn't Conroy been in high school for like 10 years now?
It certainly seems that way.
Jimmy Conroy has just been an outstanding wrestler from the time he first walked on the mat as a freshman at 103 pounds and 6 feet tall.
Over at Old Bridge, we have Steve Fallon, second in the state at 119. Right. Going over to Perth Amboy, you have my sleeper pick, Gabriel Roman. We saw him last week. He's 12-0 on the season. He's a contender. Now we get a look at Greg Zanetti, also at 119.
He's got that cross body right in.
So certainly the weight class of all weight classes in the GMC is going to be 119.
Well, something to look forward to as we get there, and you and I will be there for the finals.
Same way, no change. We're going to face me, guys.
They go out of bounds. Nick Parabello down by 2. To the Hawks, Greg Zanetti.
And officials are helping us out, starting the wrestlers facing us so we can get a good look at them on camera. Normally, the official wants to face the scores table. So thank you to the officials for helping work with us here in that capacity.
Gets that cradle in from the front.
He's got it tight.
And the bell, the buzzer just holds him off.
Going to pick up 3 more backs. Going to take our score to 5-0.
Well, that 20-point lead, which looked pretty impressive, and it was after the first 4 bouts for the Bears, is
choice, offense.
Being chipped away a little bit.
Well, Parabella, no slouch of his own. Done a nice job for the Bears. Strong wrestler. Etched in stone well for 119. Just has to gain the experience and mat time to put him in that league with the Conroys and Fallons.
Well, he's got an excellent coach in Steve Giordano, who has come on board. He's been there, what, about 3 or 4 years or more than Steve? I don't have that information.
He's been coaching quite a while. He's jumped around a few different schools. I'm not too sure how long he's been at Stevens, but I'd say you're about on target, Coach.
He's brought them back, although this year is a little bit of a slip at 4 and 7, but he's certainly brought some kids along, and having kids like Zanetti in the room makes a difference.
It's nice to have a couple of them in your room, and we'll see Hamilton Cook coming up at 130. Also, well, he'll be one of the top seeds at 130 in the GMCs.
Absolutely.
So we're at 23-12, that 23-point lead East Brunswick start off with. JP slowly chipping away at.
Well, 1 minute to go here in the second period. Zanetti has been very aggressive. He's only got a 5-0 lead, I should say now. But good job by Nick Parabello to fight a real tough wrestler. Now we do have a warning for stalling on Parabello. I think that's one of the toughest calls for an official, stalling on the bottom. When you've got a quality wrestler on top and he's really overpowering his opponent, how do you make that call for stalling?
It's a tough call. It really is. It's a very subjective call. He just felt Parabella was probably dropping his head, trying to stay a little too defensive. So our official woke him up a little bit. Sometimes that stall call helps, set a cadence for the bottom guy and helps get him going. Doesn't always work against you. You see a lot of wrestlers score off the stall warning. Wakes him up, gets him busy, rejuvenates him.
Okay. Neutral.
When I got called for stalling, I just said I'm in bigger trouble than I thought. Parabella makes the call to go on his feet. They will go neutral. I think Nick probably figured a kid like Zanetti was pretty strong. He wasn't going to control him on the bottom, and he didn't want to get caught underneath. Although Zanetti gets the quick takedown here just within the first 20 seconds.
Belly down here. Go back to his belly. Trying to make himself long. Try to stop. Try to tie up his wrists. Look to bring his knees in under him. Try to work back up. Zanetti working a boot. Trying to work into a power half now. Zanetti just shifts from move to move.
And even on his hip like that, he's got good control.
Zanetti, as well as we're playing him up to be, hasn't had that immediate impact like his two brothers have had, but certainly one of the strong points in the Stevens lineups.
Yeah. And he has the drive, though, because when you talk to him or ask him the question, why wrestle? And I want to be the best. And he wants to win the states. He wants to win the nationals. There's a motivation there that you don't often see with a kid as young. And a sophomore, he's young.
Well, a bad year for Zanetti, certainly different than bad year for maybe one of his brothers. A bad year for one of his brothers when they didn't place in the top 3 or 4 in the state.
True. Under a minute to go. Zanetti gave him the optional start, gave away the 1.
Parabella needs to kick his legs out, needs to try to stay square and face him.
Right to the cradle.
He's fought this long. We don't want to give up a fall here in the 3rd.
35 seconds to go. A lot of time to fight. Get that right arm through. He's trying to reach for the far leg.
He needs to stay square.
Got to work to his base, turn out.
20 seconds.
Zanetti busy looking for the fall.
Should be 14. I have 14-1. The scoreboard says 12, and I have 14, so I'm not sure what we've got here.
Well, with 2 seconds to go, Parabella's going to avoid the fall.
Either way, it's going to be a 4-point decision, and that's okay. Greg Zanetti with the major decision over Nick Parabello at 119 pounds, a 23-16 lead for the Bears. And we will go to 125, where for the Bears, Chris Williams will be out against Albert Stevens for the Hawks. Stevens, a senior with an 8-9 record.
Williams, a junior. .6 GPA. Also cross country and track for East Brunswick.
Anybody who likes to run, God bless him. But it's a great training for wrestling, just to get that conditioning. Chris is the son of Tom Williams, who was the manager of Parks here in town and was a wrestler at East Brunswick in the late 60s. I'm giving away age, and I shouldn't know if I said that. Chris comes in with a 3-7 record. There's no control there, even though there's a lot of motion. We're flying through the air. Just over a minute to go here. Possibility of a stalemate coming up here. And there's Tom Williams in the stands. Dad keeping an eye on the action. That's the usual.
I think he's wrestling the match
Yeah,
out there.
I would say that's the usual motion of a dad.
We're locked at 0 here with 30 seconds to go in the first.
Chris in an awkward position there, and he does give up the 2.
So Stevens on the board first. The takedown, 1:40 into the first period. Official telling Stevens he's got to get out to the side, needs to stay aggressive, needs to look for the fall. You cannot just ride. You have to stay aggressive at all times. Not a lot Williams can do down there. He's tied up pretty good.
Still, you said he had to get to the side. It's still pretty much the rule of thumb that the top wrestler can't stay parallel, or is there a time frame that they can be there before they have to move out?
Well, most officials, they'll give you a few seconds. They'll look for you to try to work something, you know, from that boot. And if you don't prove that you're going to, stalemate it, or you could get one for stalling. But it is the earnest of the top wrestler to work for the fall, and as it is for the bottom wrestler to work to get out. So it's Williams on top now in position. He's got one arm tied up with a one-on-one. Near leg Turk trying to work. Now he locks in on a single. Williams needs to stay on that leg.
Still has the control.
To maintain control, he has to stay on that leg.
Lift
needs to bring the wrestler back down to the mat, or he'll be warned for stalling. So if Williams, if he cannot improve on that, he might just want to let him go to avoid the stall call. Williams brings him back down to the mat. Needs to cut the corner.
That was a pretty long time on his feet without any points or without a warning.
Well, you have to make an attempt. So as long as you make an attempt, you can avoid the stall call. But we will get a neutral call as we go out of bounds. Williams lost control.
And Albert Stevens goes up 3-0 here in the second period at 1:25.
Williams with a nice sprawl, good cross face, almost came around.
A little quickness there, and a
Stevens trying to work in for the dump. I just realized we got a Stevens wrestling for J.P. Stevens. I don't know if you get any extra points for that.
I'll check that in the rule book. A little awkward there as his knees came underneath him. They're going to call a stalemate, and they'll go back to their feet.
We're going to get a fresh start.
33 seconds to go here in the second period.
Well, Williams with a leverage advantage here. Nice, long, lanky wrestler. Those are always the ones that gave me fits.
Oh, you and me both. Stevens gets in, still fighting.
Nice job by Williams to wrap that leg. He's going to want to try to hold on here for a stalemate. That's
15 seconds.
That's
He's
the best that can happen for Chris. He's going to want to hold on here.
Keep those hands locked. I'm sorry for talking you over, Stu.
Well, we're thinking the same thing.
Going to hang on for 4 seconds if he can. Good job by Chris Williams to hold on. Dad checking the score. Down 3-0. Chris Williams on the bottom here in the third period.
It's certainly not insurmountable. Williams gets something going, gets busy here, can certainly be back in this match. Stevens trying to work, ball and chain. Putting pressure on the back of the neck, trying to keep Williams down. Working out to the side. Williams needs to free that arm.
He's working for that tilt.
Use that leverage to his advantage, try to back out. Williams needs to crawl forward here.
Come on, use it, improve it, use it or change it. Let's
go.
Williams
freed up his arms. Now he needs to bring his knees under him.
You heard the referee say either use it or change it. You can't hang on to that. It wasn't going anyplace, and in essence, that was really stalling, just riding him out.
Yeah. Williams needs to put a combination together. Stevens trying to work a near tilt. Chris needs to bring his knees back under him. We get a stalemate. We're going to get a fresh start. Now, Chris wants to be first off the whistle here.
The explosion on the whistle was so important because too many kids will stop and think it out. They've got to react and go on that whistle.
Well, when you're down 3-0, you have nothing to lose. Even if you cheat,
sure.
you give up a caution, it's worth trying to cheat. You're allowed 2 cautions before that third one will be a point.
I think the term is anticipate rather than cheat, Coach. But you're right. There's nothing to lose. You're down 3. It's only going to cost you a warning. And that's not going to be anything until the third time around. And with only 30-some-odd seconds to go here, Chris has to start putting things together and get moving. I think Ken Burnaby was starting to look at the possibility of a stall there. It looked like he was doing a little count in his head.
Well, with Hamilton Cook in the wings for JP, East Brunswick is going to face one of their better wrestlers coming up next. Running out of time here at 1:25. We're at 23-16 in our dual meet. East Brunswick started out ahead with a 23-point lead, and it's been now 19 unanswered points. We're back at a contest here.
Well, it was 5 in a row for the Bears, and now it's 4 in a row for the Hawks. And they closed the gap to 23-19. Chris Williams dropping a 3-0 decision to Albert Stevens. We go to 130 pounds. Kevin Busen for the Bears, a senior at 7-6.
With a big win earlier in the season where he beat JC Franco Bandiero, crosstown rival Edison.
That was a big one.
And it looks like we have Garrett Burrell taking the mat for East Brunswick here.
Oh, they moved. They changed the lineup then. At 130? No, that's not Kevin Busen.
Nope. So either Busen will go up to 135.
Do a little maneuvering now. Cook with a 2-0 lead on the takedown over Burrell. Cook, a senior, 15-2 on the season.
Very slick. Look for him to place high in the forthcoming GMC tournament. And I'm sure Cook has aspirations from there as well, moving even into the state tournament and looking to place.
Well, he also was, as you said, pretty, we're talking about Zanetti at 19, but here Cook is pretty cut, well built for only 130 pounds. As he picks up a takedown with Burrell bracing himself on his hands and his feet off the ground. That was a takedown.
Well, Cook is definitely quick, good technique.
I got a caution, top hand. Top hand. Here's where you were over here. I was waiting for you to get it in there. You didn't do that. Okay.
So Garrett Burrell might very well be in one of his first varsity matches, if not his first one. And
I think we have him down as 0-1.
Okay, so it's his second match. And there's a tall task here in Hamilton Cook from JP.
It's like a kid coming to bat in the major for the first time and coming up against Nolan Ryan or Roger Clemens. Go ahead, I dare you.
Well, everybody can be beat on any given day. Hey, that's why we wrestle. Just don't call it in on paper.
Well, we were saying on paper this was going to be a nip and tuck battle, that it could come down to the wire, and Glenn Pazinko was looking for those extra points in the pins and the majors, and so far through the first 9 bouts we're just 4 points apart, and we've had a number of pins and majors, and the buzzer pretty much gave Garrett Burrell another shot.
Green choice.
6-1 is the score.
Red choice.
With Hamilton Cook going on his feet, where he has already scored 2 takedowns. Quickness and technique, as you said, and he gets in again on the single and is able to turn Burrell, although a good fight by Garrett.
East Brunswick's had some Burrells in the lineups before, back in the 70s. I don't know if we have a relation or not.
I'm not sure.
The name's certainly synonymous with East Brunswick wrestling.
That was Mike, right?
Mike Burrell,
Mike
correct.
Burrell. And that is a warning against Garrett. Well, here again, as we were saying, it's tough. You're a very inexperienced wrestler going up against a very tough competitor. You are being overwhelmed, but the fact of the matter is you still have to be working your way out, and you can't just clam up and fight your
at
not doing
130
anything.
in the GMC, you really can't ask for a much tougher opponent than Hamilton Cook. Especially after that 10-2 win to Franco Bandiero of Edison. You wouldn't expect that match to end 10-2.
No. I mean, Bandiero, one of your better wrestlers in the county.
Two-time county champ.
And a major decision. (10-1) is the score right now. Garrett Burrell trailing Hamilton Cook with 40 seconds to go in the second period at 130 pounds.
We've seen Franco Bandiero wrestle here on EBTV before, and he certainly has shown us his talents. And for Cook to beat him 10-2, you know Cook's the real deal.
Absolutely. I mean, what more can I say? He did it. That's it.
It's going to cost Burrell a point. That's a second stall violation. Going to take our score to 11-1. So Burrell doing a nice job of hanging tough.
But hanging tough by giving up points on a warning for stalling is not going to be a good situation, because now he's going to have to move or risk giving up additional points. He's got another 1-point violation he can give up, and then it's 2, and then a disqualification. So he's going to have to move. And sometimes,
defense.
Despite what you were saying earlier, sometimes that warning can spark a wrestler to do more. Sometimes you put yourself in a situation where you risk things knowing you have to move, and you expose yourself that you shouldn't.
He's right.
Third period, 130-pound weight class here. 23-19 is the team score.
Cook
JP
coming off the
Stevens
Navy.
trailing.
Cook trying to work a tilt. Burrell doing a nice job of knowing where he's at. If he could kind of stay there on the edge and get in trouble, he could jump on out right there. Cook parallel on top, working the near bar, putting pressure on the shoulder. Burrell's in good shape right there. That's where he kind of wants to stay. Let that clock tick.
You know, just looking ahead, we were talking about Garrett Burrell filling in here in place of Kevin Busen, which does move Kevin Busen up to 135. So you have a senior at 135. I guess Coach Glenn Pazinko feeling that he would have a better shot against a sophomore, Jesse Sattler, if that's the way the Stevens lineup remains. And rather than put a senior, one of your better wrestlers in the middle, Busen against Cook, move him up and play the odds.
Well, right now, Burrell's doing a nice job keeping this in that major decision range.
Under a minute to go here in the last period.
Hasn't given up any points here in the third, except now he's let go by Cook. Cook's going to try to work a 2.
Well, go for the 5-point move if he can.
Well, Burrell knows where he's at. He's in good shape right there. The clock is Burrell's best friend right now.
No points as they go out.
See Coach Giordano telling Cook, get in there and shoot right away.
Well, Burrell should be circling, not just backing up. He can't back up. That's what's going to cost him.
Well, the correct call, so it's 1 and 2.
There was no
escape
break
was
there.
given because he didn't completely turn and face him.
Right.
So good idea by Cook. Just didn't needed to give it another second.
Didn't execute. Did he give him? He
Give him the 1 and 2.
Okay. Well, that's what Glenn Pazinko was saying. Circle. You can't back up. The backing up is going to cost him.
No, that should be 2
That should be 2 points.
Yeah. So we're going to get that corrected, I'm sure.
That should have been 2, but it's 15-3. It's a 4-point decision either way.
Right.
It was a 2-point. They are correcting that.
So a
Either
major
way.
decision is we'll take that as a win here from the East Brunswick viewpoint. Burrell doing a nice job of keeping within a major.
Yeah, they did correct that to the 2-point. That was a third stall, and we go to 135.
It's going to tie our score, I believe, 23 all.
The first 5 bouts went to the Bears. The second 5 bouts went to the Hawks. And we're down to 4 bouts and a decision in this match.
So all of a sudden we have a dual meet here, Coach.
Kevin Busen, the senior for the Bears, coming out at 135. And let's see what's going on. They're looking at the score for the last bout, I think.
Now the situation would need to be corrected before the next bout starts, or he would no longer be able to legally allowed to correct it.
There was an
You know what?
escape.
I think we have.
I also called stalling
tech.
in that sequence. Then you had another takedown,
We'll
another
listen in here
escape.
to
Then we went out of bounds. There was no 2
glass
points
on.
there. We came back to the middle. That was the sequence. What is this here? Oh, that's 17. 2.
I'm looking at
4,
18-3.
Well, we got to go by the
6,
home book.
8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
That's what it was, 16.
16. 16 to 1. What's this? What's this here?
Oh, those are warnings, first off.
Okay, warnings. All right, so count up the points for the East Brunswick. 16 to 3. 16 to 3.
So 16-3 stands.
Okay. I'll buy it.
Well, that 2 points would make a key difference. That would, turn it into a tech fall as opposed to a major.
Right. Jesse Sattler for the Hawks comes out at 135 and faces Kevin Busen. Sattler, a sophomore, coming in at 7-9.
Busen, a senior.
Well, this is a key match no matter which team you're rooting for, because obviously we're at a tie situation. And we're going to start to boil it down. As we look ahead, Buddy Volta at 140 for the Bears, Fabian Pleasant at 145, and then Gary Morosi at 152.
And it's going to come down to every one of those bouts. Every point scored here now has an implication on the team score.
Let's work in. Let's work in. Let's go.
Sattler with a shot.
Bouchard.
Busen.
Busen, nice job of stepping over that headlock.
Gets the takedown. Just under a minute to go. He's going to try to lace up those arms and stretch him out.
Bears certainly could benefit by some bonus points here.
Can't get careless. Got a little sloppy there.
One escape for JP. 3 back points for East Brunswick, brings it to 5-1. Favor of Busen.
No, you're right, Stu. That would have been a big plus right there if he could have locked that up, stretched those arms out. 5-1 lead for Kevin Busen in a tie match. 23 all, JP Stevens and East Brunswick. 25 seconds to go in the first period. They come back to the center.
Busen working underhook. Ear to ear.
Less than 10 seconds to go here in the first as they work the far edge of the circle.
Bears got on the board early with victory by Garcia, followed by Pendrero, Engelhart, Ryder, Brazula. Then JP Stevens took control and won 5 in a row. Busen trying to put out the momentum.
As we go to the second period, 5-1 lead for Kevin Busen. And as you said, the referee's being cooperative with us in turning the wrestlers around to face the cameras. He's got to work up off that ankle. And try to trip, and they go out.
Referee's doing a nice job of telling these kids apart. A lot of officials will use ankle bands and put them around the ankles and help them identify the red and the green in that regard.
If you really get one of these matches, and I guess it's even worse when you get down with the younger kids in the middle schools where they're rolling around all over the place, and you just watching color just go rolling across the mat as Sattler gets an escape here in the second period. A little more stable on the high school level, so you have a chance to really think about what you're looking at.
Well, these two guys we have here tonight, they have enough experience between them that it's going to take more than the same color singlets to throw them off.
I would think so. Shot by Sattler, sprawled back nicely by Busan, and they go out of bounds. Referee telling them to work the center, stay in the middle, away from the edge. Now, right now, it looks like Sattler's been a little more aggressive.
No, Busan's got to watch himself. He's backing a little bit on his feet, needs to stay aggressive. Can't ride that lead.
I mean, this cost Garrett Burrell a couple of points in that last match because as he was backing up instead of circling, had he just circled instead of the backing up to avoid the takedown, the contact, you know, there were at least 2, maybe even 3 points that he wouldn't have given up, and we wouldn't have been counting at the end. Shot by Sattler, and Busan again backing up. And at this point, as an official, you've got to be thinking, okay, what's happening? You've got one guy shooting, and one guy is backing up. And Kevin's trying to back up a little bit and get the shrug. Better situation now where he's pushing a little bit more. .18 seconds to go here in the second period. Kevin Busan of the Bears with a 5-2 lead over Jesse Sattler.
Busan's been warned for stalling.
Clock winding down here, and it looks like we will get through this second period with no additional damage done.
Well, that takedown and back points by Busan, that's been pretty much all our scoring, that one situation, outside of one escape.
And that is the first
Sattler.
escape. Well, the first escape was just Kevin kind of losing control as they went out of bounds.
Right.
And then
that was pretty much all the action we've had in this bout.
Busan chose the bottom here in the third period. Try to switch, didn't work, and Sattler has been able to control him, now working that one-on-one, rolling the wrist forward. Trying to get outside for that tilt. Busan coming to his feet, and no exchange there.
Needs to turn and face him inbounds. Turned and faced him, but just outside the circle.
Kevin coming to his feet, tries the standing switch. Good follow by Sattler. And we have some blood here on the part of Jesse Sattler. Still, I always yield to you on the rule, so
we'll give you the rule.
The blood rule.
He is up to 5 minutes of cumulative time throughout the bout to stop the bleeding. Once he stops the bleeding, it will stop the clock. They can clean him up. That would not count towards the injury time. I'm not so sure Coach Giordano wanted to stop here. He wanted, he wanted Sattler to stay aggressive.
It's kind of
try to capitalize on.
They just stopped the clock right now.
On the momentum.
Well, and you're right in the saying that they had a little momentum going there. They were the last ones to score. He was being a little more aggressive, and they had to stop the bleeding. But to some extent, it's Kevin Buson's job to stop the bleeding for the Bears right now with those 5 in a row.
Nicely put.
Thank you. And coming up with the 23-23 tie right now here at 135 pounds. Kevin Buson with a 5-2 lead. He chose defense, which gives him a chance to come up for 1 or possibly for 2. Tries that switch again, scooting outside. Good block by Sattler.
Houston trying to switch.
Not clearing his hips quite enough, and Sattler covering very well.
Well, Buson's wrestling defensively here. He needs to put the offense on. He's up by 3, and he's trying to ride that lead a little bit.
Well, an escape now, and even if he gave up 2, he's still in a good situation. He does have to be aggressive. He can't sit back. Works to stay in bounds. Kevin looking for his 8th win of the season.
Also giving up, a weight class here. We're taking that for granted.
True.
We got to remember, Buson moved up here to help the team. His normal weight at 130.
You're right. I had forgotten that. That's a good point.
So, riding that extra weight class might be, wearing on him a little bit here.
35 seconds here in the second period. They're going to blow him out of bounds and start him again. Nothing was going to happen over there on the edge, and we get a restart.
So far, the move for the Bears has worked out here. Some, good decision making by Coach Bazinko, trying to capitalize at 135 and split the bouts. 130 and 135 has a chance to maybe lose in both weight classes. So,
no control.
Strategy plays in here with 17 seconds to go. Here at 135.
Well, Glenn has not done a lot of that. As I recall through his career, he doesn't move a lot of people around. He tends to stay pretty much with that set lineup. So this is a good move, very much so.
Green.
Trying to make the most of what he has to work with here tonight.
He's set. Go ahead, top.
2 guys out of the lineup. One of them undefeated on the season, so trying to utilize the strength of his key spots to best of his ability here.
9 seconds to go as they go out of bounds again. Kevin Busing working with a 3-point lead. He's going to work that switch until it happens, but it's not going to matter at this point with the clock running out here in the third period. Kevin Buson does stop the bleeding for the Bears, picks up a decision 5-2 over Jesse Sattler here at 135 pounds, and the Bears go back on top 26-23 with 3 bouts to go. Buddy Volta will be the Bears' next wrestler at 140 pounds, going up against Jesus Kohn. Or is that? Yes.
Shake hands. Ready?
Or do we have?
Yeah, I think we got Jesus Kohn here.
Yeah, Jesus Kohn. Volta, a senior, with a 6-3 record on the season.
Well, he's got an opportunity to be a hero here. East Brunswick looking to pick up some team points, build on that marginal 26-23 lead right now. Trying to take some pressure off Fabian Pleasant and Gary Morosi due up next. Volta senior, pancakes Kohn right to his back.
Got to tee it up and lock it up.
Needs to tee it up his right. Needs to get perpendicular.
He's got to get across.
Step over.
Go to his left. That's it.
Needs to pull it through again. Volta's going to be on the board. He's got 3 in the bank, 2 on the board, so up at least 5-0 here.
Oh, those are those critical moments where you have to finish things off and make it count right there. Kohn stopped for a second.
No back points have been awarded yet, so 2-0 on the board, 3 in the bank at least.
And he's looking at this as the same combination. This was the argument we had early in this, the match. No change. He still has that bar. Now he's lost it. That should be the points there.
Points are registered now. Kohn with a quick reversal. We got some action going. We're at 5-2. Now Kohn's got to watch those cross faces. You know, that one bordered unsportsmanlike. He kind of took that from left field.
Can't wind up.
Got away with it there, but
well, an exciting first period and a 5-2 lead for Buddy Volta. You know, I always felt when you put a guy in his back and you let him up, boy, that gets him ticked off a little bit.
We're going to get another coach's inquiry.
Same situation. He went right into another
He bellied down. He went through the crotch and did another move.
Coach.
I'm telling you, this is the first time I've seen so many combinations.
He went right into another. Right to another combination.
He did another move. He came off. I mean, it's like, so we have to stop. That's what I'm telling you. Stop. Let them base off, and then go to something else.
He went right into another. Right immediately into another combination.
He was belly down.
You want to offer some insight here, Coach?
Well, when Volta had the hand through the crotch
and
the bar.
Yeah.
Now I think Coach Pazinko's thinking that the pancake was the one move for
and the
points,
tilt another,
and then the tilt was something secondary. And Ed Glassheim, the referee, saying nope, that was one of the same. Nothing really changed. He didn't change off.
With Kohn in on a switch reversal.
And we're at 5-4. Now, like I said, you never let a guy up once you got him on his back. And so Buddy has to recover some of that excitement, that energy that he had in those first few seconds of the opening period. Because right now, Kohn is taking a very aggressive stance. Hawks work that bar very consistently.
You're fine right there. Keep it against.
And you heard Ed Glassheim saying keep it against the body, keep it perpendicular. And they will go out of bounds.
Well, Kohn's becoming the aggressor here. Volta started off with that 5-0 lead. Kohn's fought his way back to close the gap to 5-4. Volta needs to anticipate the whistle here.
That's right. You don't want to be cheating it.
And explode.
Kohn breaks him down.
Next period, Volta's going to have choice. Let's see how Volta could do on bottom here. Help us to, help him decide where the best position for him is going to be in that third period.
Well, based on the first period and what's happening right now, I might say take the neutral position. Kind of rocks back, to his back. Gets him caught there.
After that first exchange, it's been all Kohn.
Got a belly down.
This is definitely a key bout with only 2 to go after it.
He's going to have 3, it looks like.
After this, we have 145 and 152. So the pressure's on for these last 3 guys. The first of the 3 being Buddy Volta.
And 3 back points puts Kohn in the lead, 7-5. So as you said, Stu, after that initial flurry where Volta had the advantage, it has been Jesus Kohn from that point forward, and Volta does take the neutral position here in the third.
Now trailing 7-5. Volta with underhooks.
And try that same move again. And I think the circle might be the best bet for Buddy right now.
Yeah, Volta needs to try to get out of bounds, but he didn't. I'm a little delayed on my call, but Kohn quick to step over and increase his lead to 9-5. Volta's running out of steam here.
9 straight points for Jesus Kohn of Stevens. Has put him up by 4 here at 140 pounds with about 1:16 to go. And he's been dumped like that a couple of times.
He's on the line. He's not picking up any points there. Needs to be inbounds.
And will he give him a neutral? Yes.
Gave him one. To the dislike of the J.P. Stevens side of the bleachers.
Well, Buddy Volta is back where he wanted to be at the beginning of the third. He's on his feet. And this is the place where he scored in the first. He's tried that double underhook a couple of times to try to pancake him.
It's Kohn backing up.
Neutral.
39 seconds. 9-6 is the score. Buddy Volta down by 3. The Bears have a 26-23 team lead.
A lot of action, but good no call by our official.
There was an example of the referee waiting on a call rather than jumping in on something and having to correct it or take it back. Good no call by Ed Glassheim. 20 seconds to go here. 9-6, Cologne in the lead, and a warning for stalling against Cologne as they go out of bounds on the far side. Volta really has to stay aggressive but smart, not be careless as he tries to get those points back. The double underhook looking for the 5-point move, goes to his back, and a takedown.
Volta got taken down his back, trying to force the action there. Needed the takedown, so gave it a shot. Came up short. That's going to tie us up yet again.
13-6, so one short of the major, which is a good thing, and we are tied. We come down to the last 2 bouts. Fabian Pleasant for the Bears.
Well, you can't ask for a tighter duel meet here. Now with 2 bouts to go, you need somebody to come up with a bonus point.
Yeah, we need a major,
to establish a winner.
A major, a tech, a pin. Travis McCarthy is the senior for the Hawks. 8-5, his record on the season here at 145 pounds against Fabian Pleasant.
Don't think Gary Morosi isn't thinking about a little pressure over there right now, coming up next at 152. Let's see what Fabian could do to help him out.
Quick shot by McCarthy. Gets in on the knee pick.
This match is coming down to the 2 future Naval Academy guys for East Brunswick. Fabian Pleasant and Gary Morosi, both off to the Naval Academy next year.
I didn't realize that.
Should we end in a tie, we'll go to a criteria system to establish a winner. The first criteria, testing my knowledge of that rule book without in front of me, but I believe the first criteria is greater number of penalties for unsportsmanlike conduct.
A takedown for Pleasant, and that is a good start.
No one's had a penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct so far. We go to our second criteria, which I believe is going to be most bouts won. And
right now we're split.
Okay, and then our third criteria I think is going to be most pins.
I think we're split on that too. That's interesting.
There's a sequence of about 15 steps to establish a winner. A duel meet cannot end in a tie. If we have to start counting escapes and takedowns, it gets that defined in the rule book.
Right now we are at we're split 6-6 on the bouts won, and we're split 2-2 on pins.
I'm sure both coaches are counting, looking back at all kinds of situations of shoulda, woulda, coulda right now.
Fabian Pleasant with 20 seconds to go here in the first period with a 2-0 lead. Trying to putting himself a little bit at risk there, a little bit high.
We had the Kevin Busan almost pin in that first period, which would have added 3 more team points for East Brunswick.
And Pleasant getting some back points here.
So anything Pleasant can do to build on that lead is going to help.
And he picks up 3 on the back. And a 5-0 lead. The choice going to Travis McCarthy here in the second. He defers.
Defense, screen, defense.
And Fabian going from the bottom. Here in the second period, 5-0 lead for Fabian Pleasant. The tie score for the teams at 26.
He'll get hit for stalling if he doesn't bring Fabian down to the mat. Just look for Fabian to stay right there. Stepped out of bounds. We'll get a fresh start. Fabian's going to explode back up to his feet. Fabian's a worker out there. He'll give you a full 6 minutes.
Come on, top man, let's go.
Ken Burnaby, the referee, is talking to McCarthy. Hasn't warned him or anything, but he's trying to get him to work a little bit harder as Fabian faces his opponent. I think it should be 1.
Yeah. Good call.
It's easy to make him up here.
Oh, yeah.
6-0. Fabian Pleasant in the lead for the Bears.
Nice to see both of these teams with a full healthy JV lineup prior to the dual meet. The future looks bright for both teams with good numbers.
Well, it's nice to have the bodies out there. A lot of teams, it's very difficult to fill a lineup. You look in the paper and look at the box scores, and you see forfeit after forfeit in so many places, and it's tough to fill 14 weight classes.
Well, it's a big sacrifice. Takes a tremendous amount of dedication and commitment.
Fabian's got his hips underneath him. That's not a good position.
Fabian needs to lock it up. Needs to keep that locked. Try to stay over the body.
Bring his hips back.
Doesn't want to
get
go up a takedown here. He has a 6-0 lead and wants to work towards a major.
Gets
Good
his legs
job.
back. That was nice.
Now Fabian can high leg over. He could pick up 2 of his own. Good no call by our official Ken Barnaby. Nice weight.
Got to free that leg.
Now Fabian can come around. He could pick up 2.
He's got it.
He's got it. Fabian wants to try to hook that leg in. Expose his opponent's shoulders to the mat.
5 seconds ago, just wants to hold on right now. Let the period play itself out. He will.
Well, Fabian Pleasant up 8-0.
This is a very big match, and you're right.
That 7th to 8th point is very big right now. He wants to try to hold on to it.
I think right now, Fabian Pleasant's biggest fan is Gary Morosi, who's waiting in the wings.
Gary Morosi looking on in anticipation. He's looking for Fabian here to ever have a good match. Have it right here.
McCarthy chose the bottom position, and Fabian working to break him down.
We've been in that position before with Gary Morosi. Seems to come down to him quite a bit, as it did last year, one of our EBTV coverage matches with Woodbridge. And it's going to come down to Gary again tonight.
Your memory is incredible.
Not always.
Fabian's slipping off a little bit. He works a little bit loose, not really tight. He's getting a count there on the tilt. He might have a couple. I'm not sure. Got to watch his own back.
He's got 2 in the bank. I saw a couple waves.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Fabian could build on that. All the better.
Watch your back there, Fabian. 10-0 is the score. Fabian Pleasant in the lead. Just over a minute to go here in the 3rd period. It's a major decision on the board right now. And there is Gary in the warm-up area behind the East Brunswick bench. Could get another couple of counts there. I think he might have 2 more. Yes, he does. At least 2. We are at 12-0. Well, the 152-pounder for the Hawks is Will Mia. He is a junior, coming in at 7-3, so he's got a little bit of experience and a little bit of a record. But we're going to have a major decision for Fabian Pleasant.
Picks up 2 back points. Comes up 1 shy of the tech.
14-0. Fabian Pleasant, nice performance out there. It makes it 30-26. And we come down to the final bout.
It's amazing how after 13 bouts and a 23-0 lead for East Brunswick, it works it down to everything on the line right here.
Gary Morosi against Willie Mia at 152 pounds.
2 quality students on the mat. We got some nice GPAs out here once again.
Well, Mia says his GPA is a 4.0, but his favorite class is study hall. Well, that's probably how he's got it. He's doing a lot of work in that study hall. 30-26, the Bears on top. Mia takes him down with a dump. The fireman's carry puts Morosi on his back. Gary fighting it.
Gary needs to get to his belly. Needs to make himself long here. Does a nice job fighting off.
Mia had that pretty tight when he dumped him over.
Well, Mia knows his mission. Morosi knows his.
Oh, yeah.
Both guys know what they got to do here. There's a JP side of the bleachers. Gets a Willie chant going here. And EB coming back with Gary. Gary.
5-0 lead for Willie Mia. Tough crossface he just put in there to try to lock up Morosi. We're under a minute here in the first period at 152 pounds. The 14th bout. East Brunswick with a 4-point lead, 30-26. Gary Morosi looking for a win, obviously, but also working to not give up the major if it comes to that. You know, as a wrestler, your mindset has to be, I've got to win,
right?
Not to just not give something up. And I'm sure that Gary goes out doing that. But I think sometimes there are kids who are saying, you know, all I have to do is not get pinned. And that's not really enough right now.
Well, it can't get majored either.
No.
Let's go.
It's got to keep it either a regular decision or a win. Would certainly make it much easier.
Wins are appreciated.
Well, Morosi's a tough kid. He's going to give it a fight out there.
Tries to come to his feet. We're under 5 seconds to go. Gary working to get that one. And the first period comes to a close with Willie Mia leading 5-0. Gary Morosi will have choice, and he will choose the defensive position.
Defense.
You couldn't have wrote a closer script for it to come down to this here at 152.
This is an exciting match. That 20-point lead, 23-point lead that the Bears racked up in the first 5 bouts, and you're saying, wow, this is a great match for East Brunswick. Maybe they're going to really turn the corner on this one, but then the Hawks hit their stride in the next 5 bouts as they then started racking up their wins.
Me working on that Navy. Staying parallel.
And we have gone back and forth.
Morosi certainly would want to get on the board here. Holding on for dear life now.
Keep that leg in there.
Mealy.
Put the crossface in, pressure the head.
Morosi needs to give back one of those crossfaces right now and try to high leg over.
And sprawl it out, put the pressure. Hard crossface in there.
Morosi had his hands broken. Now he needs to rip up on that crossface. Put 2 hands on that. Step over.
Keep spinning, keep spinning.
Morosi coming around for 2.
Go. Reversal for Gary Morosi.
That certainly puts a little gap away from that major.
And I think it also sends a message to Willie Mia that he's not going to come out here and just do whatever he wants. He got that first 5 points pretty quickly.
Morosi did a nice job of fighting back from that 5-0 lead, getting himself back in the match, shaking off the situation.
Now he's working.
And now he's working for a fall of his own, trying to work a figure 4 in the head. That's a situation where the figure 4 is legal in a pinning combination. You can't use a figure 4 to avoid a takedown, but you can, ooh. Just as Morosi gets something going, it's stopped.
Well, he called it potentially dangerous as the arm
Broke
came up.
the angle, right? Good call by the official. As much as we didn't want the action to stop, good call.
I mean, I was looking at that. I didn't notice, but of course we're a distance
Right.
away, and Ed was right there on the call.
Well, I was staring Ed in the face, so he saw it and certainly had a better angle on it than we did.
Good follow by Gary Morosi as he rides Mia here in the last 10 seconds of the second period.
Morosi coming back. So now it's coming down to the last 2 minutes of this, hour and a half contest.
Mia will have choice. He's going to take the defense. He's down here in the last period. Gary Morosi, some decisions. You want to ride, you want to control, you want to work for the fall yourself, but in desperation, or if you get in trouble, you let him up for one, you go back on your feet and you take your chances there. Doesn't want to get too high as he's riding. Once he gets one leg in.
Both guys have a mission here. At this point, Mia's mission's a little bit harder than Morosi's. Morosi's got to stay aggressive.
Gary doing a very nice job controlling the situation right now. As you said, fighting back from that 5-0 deficit early on. He was locked in there when he got turned over, and he fought that very well. He's now come back for a couple of points, and on top, he's done very well riding and controlling Willie Mia.
Hey, this match could have been all over there in the first period. He could have just packed it in, and that would have been it. It's Morosi that's stayed aggressive, and
he's got to stay on it.
Now he's in control.
And a warning for stalling on Willie Mia. Just over a minute to go here in the third period. The score is 30-26. East Brunswick on top. Gary Morosi with
Morosi doesn't want to just not get pinned now.
No.
Now he wants to win.
He's looking for the win.
He's looking to tie this bout up.
We're under a minute. Gary
looking
Morosi
for backs.
He's down 3 points, but the way he's wrestling, you'd think he was right on top and controlling this. He's controlling the pace of the match right now, certainly. And it's interesting that as he tries to, gotta watch it, gotta make easy on the control coming down. Nice job there by Gary.
It's all Morosi here.
I'm waiting for another stall call by Ed Glassheim out there, because I'm not sure that Mia has done an awful lot here in this last period. And Gary has been working. This is not just a ride to not lose. He is working with a double grape in there now. 10 seconds to go. Gary Morosi with the best 5-2 loss you're ever going to see.
Well put, well put.
Well, the win went to Willie Mia.
Well, the battle went to Willie Mia, but the war went to East Brunswick.
A final score, the Bears 30, the Hawks 29. Nice job by the last couple of wrestlers. Fabian Pleasant did a great job. Almost pulled off that major, the tech fall, actually. And Gary Morosi, an excellent job. After, like you said, he got planted there in that first period, and he fought back a tough match, and he took control of the match. And even though that was a loss, a great job. You take a quick review of the matches. We started at 160 pounds with Sergio Garcia, and he came out there with a major decision. Also, the first 5 for East Brunswick, Brian Pedrero, Nick Engelhardt, Jimmy Ryder, and Joe Brazil, all coming up wins, a 23-0 lead for the Bears, and then they got into the heart and the strength of the Hawks, Stu. Chris Corona coming out there, and Bobby Seha just couldn't be stopped. Dan Kaiser, Greg Zanetti doing what Zanettis tend to do at JP Stevens, Albert Stevens, and then Hamilton Cook. That was a 23-23 tie, and then it came down to the real crunch time. We went back and forth. Kevin Busand with a win, Fabian Pleasant with a win, Gary Morosi with a very tough fought loss and a critical production. Split 7 bouts. Can't ask for anything more than that.
Well, the difference came out to be bonus points.
Bonus points, and some gutsy play by Gary Morosi at the end. And you know, it's funny. Here we are. The young man lost, and he's really, in some ways,
really the hero
of the match. A 30-29 victory for the Bears over the JP Stevens Hawks. And that is our final score from East Brunswick High School. For Stu Kohn, and I'm Bob Cancro. Thanks for watching EBTV.